What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raise. How far are you willing to go for the love of your life? What happens when you realize that person is stalking you and keeping an eye on every move? Anyone would be scared, terrified, and run away as far as possible from the person. Unless you are Joe. You are the one that is doing all the stalking. You, the Netflix series, is a psychological thriller whose first season aired in September 2018. The show first appeared on Lifetime and was later Netflix picked it up for an exclusive second season release. The series surrounds Joe Goldberg, played by Penn Badgley, as a bookstore manager. Along with that, he is also a serial killer and obsessive lover. In season 1, he was madly in love with Guinevere Beck, played by Lail, and stalked her until she accepted him. Joe used social media to constantly track where she goes. Guinevere quickly realized what kind of psychopath Joe is and his true nature. The minute she tries to get out of it, Joe drives her towards her permanent end. In the next seasons, Joe's obsessive behavior does not stop as he continues his quest for true love. He finds Love Quinn, played by Victoria Pedretti, and thinks she is the endgame for him, only to realize that love is crazy like him. With the season 3 finale ending on such a shocking note, we all are thinking, will Joe ever change? Well, we are here today to give you a sneak peek as to what will happen in season 4. Before we get into the details, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Movie Raise. The season 3 finale is still lurking in our memories, leading us to think about what Joe's next steps will be. One thing is for sure, the level of craziness Joe can get into could be just the beginning. Let us go through what went down in season 3 and its ending. And if you have not watched the series yet, there will be major spoilers ahead. The first episode opens with Joe and Love arriving in the town of Madre Linda with their child. Joe's only reason to stay in the marriage was that he thought they were going to have a baby girl. Joe felt the need to protect her, but when Love delivers a boy, Joe is somehow disappointed, and he convinces himself that the newborn son hates him. Furthermore, his shaman mother-in-law, Dottie Quinn, played by Saffron Burrows, thinks Henry is a reincarnation of her late son 40, and she insists on calling him 40, even though the parents are against it. If you don't remember, 40 was Love's twin brother. He was accidentally shot in season 2. Then enters the gorgeous new neighbor, Natalie Enkler, played by Michaela McManus, with whom Joe gets obsessed. But when she tries to kiss Joe, he declines for the sake of his family. On the other hand, we see that Love is not enjoying the weird town. She meets the so-called momfluencer Sherry Conrad, played by Shalita Grant, her husband, and the other moms. At the party, she overhears the townspeople gossiping vicious things about her. Natalie turns out to be the same one and tells her she's a place where Love can start her bakery. Things take an ugly turn when Love finds Natalie's bracelet hidden in Joe's secret place. Love is quick to know that no matter how many promises they make to each other, Joe's obsessive side will never truly be gone. So when Love goes with Natalie to take a look at the bakery, her anger rises. She envisions that Joe will leave her for Natalie. Her serial killer instinct kinks in, and she hits Natalie with an axe. The blonde drops dead on the ground, with whom she has just signed a 3-year lease for the bakery. Love calls Joe there and tells him that they need counseling. Just what we all needed for the first episode ending. In the next one, Joe and Love are sitting in front of Dr. Chandra, talking a secret language as they begin to explain what problems they are having with each other. While Joe wants to scream that Love is an axe murderer, Love accuses him of trying to cheat on her. In the mist, we see how tactfully Joe takes care of Natalie's body. We see how the two are trying to make their place in the town, but everyone is just downright weird and strange. Love and Joe get to know that Natalie wears a biometric ring. If she is wearing it, will be easy to find her. And then they drag their son again to cover up the crime scene. Joe breaks Natalie's finger bone, pulls out the ring, and leaves it in a public bathroom. And the body he dumps is on a construction site where the cement is about to pour. It is where Love and Joe have a massive argument. And in the end, they promise each other that they would avoid killing people for each other. Seriously, at this point, no one is trusting the psycho couple. Moving on, the whole town is now obsessed with trying to find Natalie. Her sudden disappearance has left the rich tech pioneer husband, Matthew Engler, played by Scott Speedman, who is heartbroken, while his stepson, Theo Engler, played by Dylan Arnold, a college student, tries to get close to Love. When the media attention rises, Joe and Love try to frame Matthew for murder, based on the theory that it is always the husband. But Joe's failed to do it when he sees Matthew as an innocent man who loves his wife and is now heartbroken. The episode ends with Gil Brigham confessing to Love that Henry got measles due to his daughters since they do not believe in vaccinations. So you know what Love does in the situation? She hits Gil with a rolling pin. Then we see that thankfully she should not kill him, but he ends up in the famous cage. Remember the glass thing from season 1? Joe is now determined that they will let this man live. They try to get dirt on him so the minute he steps out, he won't mention a thing to anyone. What we all thought could be a cheating in the exam scandal turned out to be his son sexually assaulting a girl and his wife paying the survivor. It was good blackmail, but unfortunately Gil could not take it and he hung himself. Love and Joe think of this as an opportunity where they write a suicide letter on behalf of Gil. In the letter, Joe writes that Natalie and Gil were having a so-called affair, and when she refused to leave her husband, Gil killed her out of anger. And now he is hanging himself because he can't handle the guilt. One thing I don't get is that staging such a crime scene requires muscle strength and physics. Guess they conveniently forgot that. Meanwhile, Love tactfully buries the axe in the wood when the town is out there having a search party for Natalie. The police find the axe with Gil's fingerprints and suicide note with the case is closed. There is a glimpse of Joe showing interest towards the librarian Marion, played by Tati Gabriel, and a new obsession begins. In the upcoming episodes, we see that Love and Theo start getting close to each other. When Joe figures out their connection, they break into a destructive fight. While Love promises to break ties with Theo, we see that they slept with each other. A hoax pregnancy makes Love realize that Joe might not be the soulmate she is looking for. We see that Matthew is not ready to leave Natalie's death and does not believe the Gil affair story. So he gets access to every security camera in town and sets it up in his office. Joe tries to stop himself from going to Marion, but they also end up sleeping with each other. Joe convinces Marion that there is nothing left in his marriage and he is gonna leave Love. How can things go so smoothly for the two? Joe finds out that Marion has a daughter and he cannot gain custody of her due to her douche ex-husband, Ryan. Things turn dark when one night Sherry and her husband Carrie listen to Love's confession that she killed Natalie for Joe. You must have guessed what happened next. The couple ends up in the glass cage, better than dying. On to the finale, we see that Joe is now completely obsessed with Marianne. For her, Joe goes and casually murders Ryan, making it look like a mugging encounter. With the help of Sherry's blog, Love goes ahead and exposes Matthew for spying on the town. Matthew reluctantly breaks the entire setup, but his stepson Theo walks away with a pen drive where the footage is stored. Love figures that Joe is going to leave her for Marianne and tries to paralyze Joe. But he's smart and he already had taken the antidote for the poison. He then stabs Love with an injection which ranks up the heartbeat and kills you. Joe then writes an email where Love confesses of killing everyone. With the gas on, he lights up the house and leaves his toe for DNA evidence. Joe walks out of the house with Henry and the house blasts up in flames. Joe leaves Henry in the care of Dante and his husband, knowing he will be safer there. The police declare Joe and his wife dead. Sherry and Carrie break out of the cage due to the spare key Love left in there. We see Theo getting out of the hospital after Joe saved him from his wife. Theo figured out the cage and her secrets, so Love tried to kill him. Everyone in town goes back to their business and we see Joe in Paris sitting at the bar. He is thinking of Marianne and seconds later she walks into the bar. There are a lot of theories about season 4. Let us take a look at where the show's possible storylines go. One such theory is that Ellie could have a return in the show. We see Joe saying that he tries to send money to her whenever he can. Ellie only knows Joe by his fake name, Will, who is a dead man. It will be interesting to see what drama unfolds when they meet. Or Ellie could have seen the pictures of Love and Joe not being alive and figured out through her tech savviness of Joe's murderous past. There is a possibility that Theo is on his way to take his revenge, as he steals the pen drive and all the footage proving Joe is also involved, and it could be a major twist in the tale. In the last scene, we saw Marianne walking back into his life. How will he prove his innocence? When she ran away from Joe after Love warned her about her husband. We will have to see if Marianne accepts Joe's cooked up lies. But this time around, will he let Marianne go if she rejects him, or will her fate end up like the two previous women? But one question is still lingering on our minds. Is Love alive? With the blast, Love also got a clean slate, and there are chances she's hiding somewhere in Paris waiting to take her revenge on Joe. There is a theory that in the scene where Joe is walking around in Paris, that Love is there in the background. Recently, Netflix released a teaser about a look in season 4. In the video, we see an overlook of Joe's past life, including Beck, Love, and all the mistakes he has made. In the end, we see an official announcement about season 4 coming to us. It is expected that the season will air in 2022. That is all we have for today's video. Let us know in the comments below if you think Joe will get caught in the upcoming season. We will see you in the next video with the latest gossip.